There's that inside joke about the 10 millimeter,
Yeah.
which to me, being a new person, I didn't really understand like how big of an inside joke this is. Welcome back to Christina's Garage, Gearhead in Training. It is a week away from Christmas, and if you are like me and don't really know much about tools, you might have difficulty getting gifts for your dad, brother, or anybody else who might want or need tools. And also me, myself, I pretty much just have home tools right now, and I need to figure out how do I start building up my personal toolbox. What better place to come than Harbor Freight Tools? I was told that Sean is the guy to ask when it comes to learning about mechanics tools, and also especially when you come into Harbor Freight, you are the person to talk to. Would you mind sharing a little bit about your background?
18, 19 years I've been running my own business type. I work on cars, I've built old schools, worked on anything from Ferrari all the way down to Honda. And I used to run a lot of Craftsman. I went through the problem of those, found out Harbor Freight tools were just as good for half the price. Found out about Harbor Freight and started purchasing tools from here. I beat my tools up. Like I said, I build cars, cut them, grind them, and sometimes you don't want to go spend $150 on a wrench you're going to cut in half.
And so you are the perfect person for me to ask. My primary vehicle is a '69 Camaro. I'm working on my brother's '68 Mustang Fastback. I'm also doing work on my personal vehicles. I have a 2006 Chevy Silverado. My husband has a 2005 Ford Escape. And I have been using my friend Jeff's tools to make up for my lack of with my home tools. I was told that you guys have a suggestion for people like me that I can get a bunch of tools kind of all in one with one of the holiday sales you guys have.
Yeah, the 301 right now on our Christmas sale is normally $200, now at 170. So this is gonna be kind of your altogether starter kit. It's gonna be your standard and your metric for your new age stuff, and then for your American that are 1990 and older. They're gonna run more of SAE. America didn't move over to a metric system until around the mid 90s to early 2000s. Fun fact, anything early 90s, 80s and beyond is gonna be SAE. So you said you got a newer Silverado, newer Ford Escape. Those are gonna run your metric. Your 68 and your 69 you're talking about, those are gonna run your SAE.
And that was one of the questions that I was gonna have for, it would kind of depend on what people are working on as to what tools that they would wanna buy.
Exactly. I mean, this one right here is a pretty good set. You start off at 1/4 inch drive, 3/8 up to 1/2 inch. You do have deep sockets and you do have shallow, which working on some of the older cars, you have studs that you have to use the deep sockets on, but some of the newer cars, you have tight areas that you can only use the shallow sockets on. So right here is getting into it. It's not the best of screwdrivers, but it is a good screwdriver set. If you want best, we got Icon that's up there with Snap-on, neck and neck. These ones right here are like a mid-grade. You're looking for something to throw in the back of a truck, to throw on the desk in your garage. This right here has 3 tiers in it. You can pull the tiers out and set them where you want. When I do a tow for a customer, or I run out to a customer, broke down on the side of the road, I use something like this. Just pop open the back of my truck and everything's right there.
So this is perfect for maybe you do have tools at home and you want something additional for your vehicle to be able to move around as well.
It's a little bit of both. If you don't have a toolbox to really store stuff at home, it is a built-in toolbox, but then again, it is a case you can just grab and go. If you want to go a little bit higher, just more in wrenches and stuff, we have this guy right here. He runs a little bit higher, of course, a $400 set.
Okay, so the difference between this, what is it, master socket set?
Yeah, well, this guy right here, yeah, the master technicians,
okay,
is you'd have to have a toolbox to set it in. I have my own shop. I got a little local business. I run something like this in my shop, in my big 72-inch toolbox. So unlike the toolbox at my shop, I would have to find a bag or a separate toolbox to throw it in.
Does this have all of the parts that this has and more?
This is gonna be, I believe, as well, the 1/4 inch, 3/8 and 1/2 inch. This is gonna be standard metric. This is actually gonna be 428 pieces. It's gonna come with a little bit nicer ratchet set. These are gonna be ratchet wrenches and standard wrenches, and I believe that's where the difference is. Where these ones are just standard wrenches. They're not ratcheting wrenches.
Let's just say you already have some pieces and you want to pick up some more. It seems like you guys have some other options to kind of fill in those gaps as well.
Yeah, so depending on what you're looking for, we have a really good line of ratchet wrenches. I have a couple that I really prefer, just myself. I really like the swivel guys, especially getting in tight spaces. Or not swivel, they're the index head. And then I have a very select set of Icon as well. It's all preference. I like the gripped one better than just the metal. I work in the cold, like I say. I have a shop. It's not heated. It's insulated, but it's not heated. So you grab a cold wrench, it's not good. Or in the summer, if you leave it outside and you pick it up and it's burning your hand.
Which I have done. I left something in the sun once and burned the crap out of my hand, so that's a good thing to know.
So I do like, they call them, I think, the professional grip. I do like those better.
We've been using torque wrenches, and Jeff has 2 different types of torque wrenches. I don't have one at all.
We have starting off at a 1/4 inch that goes in Newton meters. These ones are good for doing valve cover, oil pan, cam cap bolts, because those things are held at a real low standard, or like a real low torque. Then we have the 3/8, and then we have the 1/2 inch. If you're looking for something for a big boy that's gonna do 100, 200 pounds plus, we have the Quinn going into the Icon. These ones are gonna start off, I believe this one I have, starting off at 50 foot-pounds up to 250. So this one is more for doing bigger jobs like head jobs, working on diesel that are high torque engines. So you want to use something, running at the price is not that bad. So you want to use something going into the bigger setup.
Got it.
If you're wanting to, maybe your car you're working on now, replace the exhaust bolts and you want to torque them down to 22 foot-pounds, then you can go ahead and grab one of these little guys. Remember to always set it back down to 0 when not in use.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So if you get one, you say, okay, specifications for this car is torque, exhaust bolts 22 foot-pounds. You set it to 22 foot-pounds. You torque it till it clicks, each one of them in sequence. You say, okay, I'm done with this. Put it away in your toolbox and come back a week later, 6 months later, a year later, because now you got another job that you're gonna do. You're not gonna be at the right torque. There's a spring in there, and you're putting that tension on the spring, breaking the tension down.
Okay. Yeah, because we've used it for the wheels, when we put the wheels to torque the wheels.
Yeah, a lot of people like to.
And then when we put the body bushings on, that we needed to torque those, because I know Jeff used one, I didn't know which one he used. Which one would you use for that type of job?
A lot of it is preference. We have electric, we have click type, and then we have kind of like the old school split beam, kind of has that articulation in there. So again, like I said, it's all preference on what you want. Something quick and easy just to grab for me, I go through one of the Pittsburgh. There is ways that you can recalibrate them to make sure that they're always working. The torque, if you're at 100 foot-pounds and it's 4% off, you're losing 4 foot-pounds. Like
In terms of accuracy?
Yeah, accuracy. Sorry,
Okay.
that's the word I was looking for.
Oh, I'm still learning all the things, so it's definitely a different language,
Yeah.
learning how to translate between the questions and the
Okay,
knowledge that you have.
I have used the digital, a lot of different things depending on what you're going on, whether it's German, American, or Japanese. You might have Newton meters, you might have foot pounds, you might have inch pounds. You might have different readings, and you're like, I don't know what the heck that is. Like, give me something I know. If you know foot pounds, I mean, almost any one of these ones you can do foot pounds except for the quarter. So these are all the difference: inch pounds, foot pounds, Newton meters, kilogram. Like, you start going through. So this guy, if the book says Newton meters, you can set to Newton meters. If it says foot pounds, you can set to foot pounds. You set it to, say, 80 foot pounds right here. As soon as you turn, it'll go beep, 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 beep. Once you get there, it'll just go straight across, almost like a flat line.
So how does this differ? Because obviously this is much smaller. This one's like the whole
Yeah,
piece.
so this is going to be an attachment. So you can go ahead, this is going to be a 1/2 inch. So you can go ahead, grab any 1/2 inch wrench, attach it to this, and then that's where you're getting your torque, through this guy right here.
Got it. So this one's good if you, like multiple different types of measurements and...
If you got a real tight spot to get into, you can go for something like a stubby. If you're doing 250 foot-pounds, that's a lot of force. You're gonna need something, a breaker bar, you're gonna need something big, so you're gonna really wanna crank on that thing.
This one will be more specialty.
So yeah, you have different leverage options.
That's cool. I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, they're pretty nice.
There's that inside joke about the 10 millimeter,
Yeah.
which to me, being a new person, I didn't really understand like how big of an inside joke
Yeah.
this is, that the 10 millimeter is like the most used.
Most common.
And you guys have something specifically for that.
Yeah, I think about 6 to 9 months ago, I lost a 10 mil to a set at the shop. To replace that one 10 mil was like 20 bucks. But it was to a certain set, and I mean, you use them. You're working on Hondas, you're working on Toyotas, you're working on Ford, Chevy. You got a 10 millimeter everywhere. If you're replacing cam sensors, crank sensors, you're using a 10 millimeter. There's a lot of small crevices that it can drop down into. I'm not saying it's a good thing, but you can drop them. They can get stuck on an oil pan, under engine cover pan, and you take off, forget it's there, it's on the side of the road somewhere. Now you don't have that 10 millimeter. You got everything else, but your most used socket. So we have what's called the Essential 10 millimeter Essential socket set. It's pretty nice. Has a nice clip to hold them all in. You have 1/4 inch, 3/8, and 1/2 inch. Impact, standard, shallow sockets, swivel socket, and deep socket. The same is going to be 3/8, and then your 1/2 inch is just going to be a shallow or a deep. So, I mean, that's
This might be a good idea for gift.
stocking stuffer.
That would actually be perfect, because whether you have all the tools in the world, whether you're new, this actually would be a good gift, because as you said, like you use this a lot, and it has so many different options.
Yeah, exactly. And some things, like sometimes you need just that swivel. You can go spend $100 on a swivel set because you need that 10 millimeter swivel. You can add a swivel on there, but it makes it real long. You need a small swivel for a tight spot. I mean, you're getting everything you need right here at a good price. That swivel socket alone can be 10 to 15 bucks, just for that one socket. Grab one of these guys right here, and anything metal, they just clip on.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
You throw your tools in there and it's good. Usually you can put it on the side of the fender, on the radiator support, or on the hood or right above your head. Just drop your nuts and bolts, sockets, whatever in there. We have a wide variety of them.
So this is another good idea for stocking stuffer.
Yeah, it's a really good thing. We have some really nice ones if you're into taking apart your firearms, if you're into working on cars with a lot of aluminum parts on them. We have the silicone ones. So they're not magnetic, but they're silicone, which means that they're more slip resistant. And they're good for maybe when working with firearms or something, you don't really want to throw metal into metal and tear them all up, so you use something softer. Pad, something like this to keep your parts from being damaged. But then again, also you can set it on the car, and when it's out, of course, out of the box, it actually grabs and sticks. This one is more for like a socket set. We have 3 different ones. And then we have the full-on open one. Another thing is with those magnetic ones, you don't want to set it on the electronic computer.
Okay, so that's good to know.
That's another good thing. You can just set it there and it's not magnetizing or losing the memory in your computer. So we have Hercules and we have a Bauer brand. I personally like Bauer brand better. They give you more of an option for what I do, like housework, automotive work, and clean up, like yard work. Hercules Tools is more of a handyman job. Saws, drills, stuff like that. We do have some impacts, so you can use them for automotive. But if you buy the battery and charger combo, then you get pretty much any one of these tools on this end cap for free.
That's a pretty good deal.
That's a good deal. Then we have right this way, we have the Bauer one. And then again, if you buy one of these battery starter kits, they're normally $100. If you buy one of these, then it drops down to these guys are now $80. So you're saving $20 right off the top. And then any one of the tools right here you're getting for free as well. That's chainsaws, that's vacuums, grease guns, electric ratchets. Those things are real big right now. Nobody wants to hand ratchet anything. You throw a battery and pull the trigger. Then we have blowers for job sites, skill saws, sawzalls, grinders. So it's just a wide variety of things from the do-it-yourselfer at home to maybe a concrete finisher to, I mean, anything.
Britt was gonna overview the different deals that are going on right now.
Yes, so we have our 12 days of Christmas. So every day, like 1 to 2 items will drop, and then you have access to it. Like today, we have a 4.5-inch Hercules angle grinder. It normally goes for $69.99. Right now, it's $49.99. And then if you go to our Harbor Freight app, it has our Merry Christmas special. So it's a whole bunch of coupons that are gifts or big ticket items like our welders or air compressors, submergible pumps since we just had the big rain. And then we also have our dollar bins over there, which are white bins, but then it's coupons for like $2, $4, and then our dollar specials as well.
And those are all going to be going until right before Christmas?
Yes, until the 26th of December.
Perfect. So if you are last minute shopping, that's a great option for you.
Oh yeah, definitely. Big money spent right there.
Thank you guys so much for joining me. I sure learned a lot, and I hope you guys take advantage of these great deals. Subscribe to my channel if you want to follow along for more, and I'll see you guys next week.